Welcome back to another Plasticon review. Today we're going to cover some more of those great Lego sets from the 80s from space. Those are space line. They're spaceman line, whatever you want to call it. They're space Lego, because you know, Legoland. This is number 6824, and this is their little kind of a, not really like a space fighter, I'd say it's more like an explorer type of thing. It's got like the little rockety things on the sides with the antenna sticking out in the front. Very cool. This instruction booklet goes kind of sideways, which is a little different than the other ones we've seen. It does start out like your standard build, and then it flips over to the sideways thing. Sadly, no alternate build on the instruction booklet. Some of these booklets sometimes had room for alternate builds to be displayed on them, some of them did not. If you actually go online, you can really look at the other alternate builds for this, but I've always was a fan of just the standard build that this thing has. I thought about building a few other things out of it, but I don't know, I just kind of enjoy what this thing looks like. But let's take a closer look at it itself. And as you can see, it's a really neat looking little spaceship. It does come with a blue spaceman versus the yellow, like our last one did. It's the original blue spaceman with it, which actually still has that gold on his chest, which is, it's getting harder and harder to find ones out there that actually have that. This little hand here is turned the wrong direction, but really neat. Such a fan of it. Like I said, authentic ones, they always have a solid top, and the helmets can sometimes vary. Some of the older ones didn't actually have a little bit of this lip. Later on they actually thickened the lip, and then when you get into the more of the modern ones, you can tell how thick everything is. It's like much thicker on the helmets, but he's really cool. I do like him. You know, he does come with a little walkie-talkie, which is cool. I like that. And the older walkie-talkies kind of had this bit of a an indentation there from the molding, but the new ones, literally this whole thing is like recessed in. So there's an easy way to tell the vintage ones from the reissue stuff. Let's see him back here to the back and take a closer look at his little space vehicle. His space vehicle is actually controlled by a little steering wheel. It's kind of cool. The steering wheel does turn, which is nice. This whole thing here spins, so if you want to spin it, you can. It's held in with a little tech pin. This seems to be a little loose on mine, but I mean, these tend to get loose over time. This is that old gray color, so it's kind of like got a bit of a, it's kind of hard to explain. There is almost kind of a bluish hue to the old gray, but I don't know, I just really like the old gray color. It's got these nice little translucent pieces here sticking off the back, just to kind of show, like, you know, maybe this is where the glow from the engines come. And then he's got these two little antenna things, and it's neat that he has these little bits here, which sometimes people use as megaphones, but that's pretty much what it is. It's literally this. It doesn't have any kind of crazy separation thing or anything like that like the last one does. It's literally just a little space kind of space sled, almost like an X-Wing fighter, kind of. Like, if you really want to look at it, it kind of does have that, because these wings are kind of split, but not really. These pieces here are really becoming more rare to find, which is kind of gnarly. I really do love these pieces, always have. Thought it was cool. People used them as like signposts and stuff like that in their towns. They would use them, have like a little arrow on them or whatever. I just really like this thing. These do move, so these does have a bit of a I don't know, you can make it so it looks like this is kind of how it lands, which is kind of neat. It's not terrible. I like it. I like how he has the capability of, you know, if you wanted to make him land like this, you could, or, you know, maybe make it angle up on your shelf or something, you could do that. I don't know, I'm just playing around right here now, but, you know, it's kind of cool that you could do that. And the fact that it's got 4 of these, and then 4 of these, you can maybe make a walker out of this thing if you really want to, like, take it apart and do some cool stuff with it. I've just always been infatuated with, you know, the old space Lego sets, because these were just literally, you use your imagination. There's no huge cockpit. You don't, like, confined to some huge pod or something that had to put your figure in. And the fact that it comes with these great little space chairs. I always love the space chairs because it has plenty of room here in the back, so that way the backpack does not have to come off your figure. And it also has like plenty of room here in the very back of it, so that way if you did want to like store like any kind of like studded piece or something like that, you could. I just like this thing a lot. It's a very iconic set, I would say, out of Lego Space, because it was one of those ones that was about around a $8 to $9 range back in the day. Nowadays, Lego would probably charge 30 bucks for this thing, $25, $30 more than likely, just because of what it is. And it's just because this thing's got so many specialty pieces to it, which is cool, because I mean, it's got the huge rocket fin piece here in the back, the smaller rocket fin pieces here, these specialty pieces, a translucent antenna, and it's one of those things. This would actually be full of specialty pieces. Not to mention the these kind of little pieces here. I don't even know what these things are called. I used to use them just for, you know, building like walkers or some kind of like landing gear or something like that. That's what I used to use these for. But these are just kind of a really strange piece, and this comes with 4 of them, which is nice. So, I mean, this is a really good set to get if you're planning on expanding your space Lego stuff, and maybe you're like, oh, I want to make my own styled stuff. This is actually pretty perfect for that. And I just love this thing. It's so cool, and it's such an iconic little thing. And if you guys want to get into, like, you know, thinking about like Benny the little space Lego man, this is pretty much like the cornerstone, I would say, for Benny and his spaceship, because I mean, it literally is a tiny little spaceship with a blue spaceman, which is kind of like Benny. And I'm a fan of this, and I always have been. I never really came up with names for any of these guys. They're just like generic spacemen. I'm one of these kind of guys. I always thought like the red ones, the yellow ones, the blue ones, the black ones were all like, their color was like the rank of whoever they were. Like this guy here would have been like a lieutenant or something like that, because he was able to like fly his own ships and stuff. So he wasn't really like one of the grunts, but he was kind of up, or maybe like a sergeant or something. So that way, and here I am just playing it like this, which is kind of cool actually, that you can just spin it like this. So you can, you know, get your spaceman's G-force going, which is kind of funny. I just love this thing. It's so cool. And it's just, these kind of things really bring a smile to my face, because that's just, you know, this is what Lego was all about back in the day, was building something cool and small and just very, very, very appealing to everybody, and just using your imagination to create what you want. Not necessarily always sticking with the base model, but there's so many other things you can build out of just this one set alone. It's got so many different little possibilities. You can tell the antenna is a little crooked. This thing kind of pops off, because one other thing I want to show you, solid nose cone. This is another indication that it's vintage, because the newer ones, this is hollowed out. It doesn't actually have the Lego stamping on there. The Lego stamping, I think, is like on the inside of it or something, which is really bizarre. But it doesn't have the full stud in the front. That's another indication that it is vintage and authentic. So this is all I got for you guys in this video. You guys stay tuned. I'll play more coming your way. This has been Plasticon, and this is me signing off. Peace out, y'all. I'll see you around. That's it for now. Bye!